Okay, does anybody not have a handout? Oh, good. Anybody not have one of the welcome packets? Oh, usually you say I'm too quiet. So everyone should have a welcome packet. The welcome packets are not to take home. You can't keep them. They're for guests, so if you have one, do not take them home. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it. We got a lot to cover. What was that?
He said it's a non-welcome packet.
Yeah. To you? That's it?
So we're not welcome to the welcome packet?
You are not welcome to the welcome packet for sure, yeah.
Parishioners are not welcome.
Parishioners are no longer welcome at St. George. We have
Only visitors.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great growth strategy.
Yeah. Well,
That's part of Preston Church, I think, and growth strategy.
okay, so most of you know that we're among 4 parishes that were selected to receive a grant from Leadership 100 for the purpose of church growth. That total grant was for $50,000 this first year, and if we do well, we will continue to get more money for a total of 3 years. Everyone hear me? Kind of? Okay.
How do they measure well?
What was that?
How do they measure well?
Yes. Okay. So, by doing well, I do not necessarily mean succeed. What they're actually wanting us to do is experiment and try out things. So they are more concerned with the actual effort we put forth, the variety of ways we try to evangelize. So there is as much to learn from our failures as there are from our successes. And they are very okay with that, just as long as we're doing something.
Can you speak forward a little bit? You sound muffly.
Oh, sorry.
Muffly and fast.
And muffly and fast, yes. You know, I actually practiced this twice already. So I will keep going though. So of the $50,000 from the grant, we are putting 40% to outreach. So the rest that we're going to talk about is what we're doing with that 40%. We have determined to have an outreach season of evangelism. The season is between Pascha and before Nativity. That's not to say that evangelism ceases after Nativity. We should always, of course, maintain a spirit of evangelism, but we're trying to have a specific season that is our church focused outward to our community. And then after that season's over, we come back for a time of rest, which would be Nativity and Lent, and we focus inward. So we have an outreach season focusing outward, and then the fasting season's focusing inward. And then we hope to keep doing this every year. So there are 3 steps to our evangelism program. First step is to get people into the church. The second step is to guide them through the service. And step 3 is to build relationships. The assumption is, as we should make as a parish, is that everyone who comes to our church wants to become Orthodox, or at the very least, wants to know more about the Orthodox faith. The ultimate goal is that each person or family that goes through these steps will want to become full participants in the Orthodox faith and become more closer to Christ. The first step is accomplished by a series of advertising efforts to our local community via a new website, a direct mailing campaign, and Facebook advertising. This is my particular, as far as the steps goes, this is my particular focus of the outreach program. My job is to get people to darken our doors. To get in, cast a shadow. Yeah.
Sinners, dark souls, you know.
I thought you said darken the door.
I did say darken the doors. Yeah. I defend that statement. I defend the shadow statement. Okay, so we have a whole new website. I don't know, do people know that we have a new website? Anybody here?
That's great.
Yeah, so it's a brand new website. It's fully responsive. It has a new look, a new color scheme, new graphics, and a new focus, and that new focus is on visitors. The previous design was all information-based about what was going on in our church. We still have all that stuff, it's all there, but the focus has changed, and we are now focusing on people visiting our website, and you can gain information if you want to, but that's not the focus anymore. So now when a visitor comes to our site, they know exactly where they should go. Our visitor section is emphasized on the navigation, on the sidebar, and throughout the whole site. In our visitor section are articles, videos, podcasts, and resources that will be of interest to inquirers. Everything that I wish I had when I was first looking into Orthodoxy is all in one place, at least for me. When I was first looking into Orthodoxy, there was no guidance into what the church believed, and it was just a series of random Google searches to find information, and sometimes that was great, and sometimes that was really terrible. And I think you probably all know that. So we try to make it just an area that has all your common questions answered through articles, videos, and podcasts. And they're all done pretty much, the videos are 5 minutes long, and the articles are maybe 5 or 6 paragraphs. So all very short and to the point. There's a lot of content to get lost in. All the videos and articles are short to the point. Just so that this is so that's the website. It's new. It's great. I hope you like it. You should check it out. Yeah. And then so now we'll go on to the direct mailing aspect. So we have started a direct. What was
Can you
that?
tell us how long you spent working on that website?
I can tell you.
Yeah, that's my
Hey,
one.
Laura, can you tell us how long your husband did not talk to you for?
Long times.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 months.
I bet he spent between 20 and 40 hours a week for up to 6 months.
So you're not very good at building websites? So.
No.
Yeah, you gotta learn somewhere.
Yeah, right. We appreciate that. Time and dedication.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Ty.
Yeah.
Wait, is the domain name different now?
It is. It's,
Okay.
Yeah, so it used to be.
PrescottOrthodox.com.
Yeah, it used to be .org, now it's .com. You can still type in .org, but it goes back to .com.
They'll redirect you to .com.
Yeah, so you're safe.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, direct mailing. We have started a direct mailing campaign and we'll be sending out mailings once a month. They are in various formats, but all with the same theme: the early church still exists. Though this is for everyone in Prescott, the specific target audience is the Duns. The Duns are the Christians who are spiritually fatigued and done with church. They're not necessarily done with Christ, just the church. They have typically church hopped through several churches in their life and are generally unsatisfied. This has special significance for me because that is a demographic that I came from. Then one day I found orthodoxy and everything changed. So this is essentially my effort to shout to that demographic that there still is hope, that the church that you always wanted and believed exists still does exist and can be found right here in Prescott. If this proves to be successful, we will choose another campaign next year and we'll focus on a different demographic. So in your welcome packets, there is a trifold brochure. So that is essentially the design that's going out in the mailers. It's all, looks like that. It's all a different layout. That's the one, right? And so that's what we're sending out to Prescott in various forms, be it money in the mail, the trifold brochure, or postcards. But it's all that kind of same theme and color scheme. And also,
Is that the coupon thing? Money in the mail?
yeah. And so also, the design of this theme mimics or mirrors the website design as well. So if you went to the website, after you saw the postcard or the mailer, the website itself will look like it's part of one cohesive presentation. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to the details of the direct mailing campaign. Please bear with me, it's pretty complicated. So in your handout, there's a table that'll help you in understanding what I'm about to talk about. During May, we had our first advertisement. We placed a full-page ad in Money in the Mail, which you're all familiar with. That's the coupon book. And that went out to 40,000 people in Prescott. That is every address in Prescott. And after that, we're going to tighten up our focus based on how much we can afford and our target demographic. We have chosen postal routes that are more likely to have the most amount of families. This worked out to being about 5,000 addresses. We then divided those 5,000 addresses into 2 groups to work within the guidelines of direct mailing. These guidelines are boring and complicated, and I will save you the details, but that is what we did. The first grouping goes out to about 3,000 people, and the second grouping goes out to about 2,000, well, not people, addresses. So we're going to send out that trifold brochure that you have in your hands. That's the first thing we're going to send out this month. It's going to go out on Thursday, June 9th. That's going to be our first one in the mail direct mailing campaign. So it goes out June 9th, and it goes out to the first group of 3,000 addresses. And then the following month, the same trifold is going to be sent out to the next 2,000. Then after that, we have a postcard series, which is based upon the same design, but it's a different layout. And that's going to go to the first group the first month, and then the second group the following month. All right, so all 5,000. And then lastly, at the end of our outreach season, we have one more postcard design that's just a little bit tweaked, and that's going to go out to the first 3,000. So we will hit the same address sometimes 3 times and sometimes 2 times, depending on where they were in the grouping, just to see. So that way we can give data back to Leadership 100, and we can show them, the success of the campaign based upon the number of repetitions it took to get someone to come to our church, ideally.
Come to the church and also the
Website.
website.
Yeah, and then the website's all done with analytics, and so we can see, that's pretty simple.
Kenny, did the money, it says May 10th, but did that already, people receive that?
The one in May did, yeah.
Money in the mail.
Yeah, they got
Wow,
It was right next to the Lightbro section ad with some nice.
I had a stack in the scooter. It was like 20 of them.
Father Bill.
Yeah, but I was waiting to take that in the mailbox and flip through the money in the mailbox.
Did we not get one actually in the thing?
I don't know, I probably threw it away.
I recycled mine.
Well, it's recycled. You guys don't recycle.
Yes, I do.
You have never recycled.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you, Kukunino.
what was that?
Nothing, I was thanking my councilman.
Yes, all right, so now, so now we're moving on to Facebook. Okay, well, yeah, no. Any questions about that?
But all the people in Prescott Valley don't need count, says mail just down.
Not until we get a church over there. Okay, so now we move on to Facebook advertising. For better or worse, love or hate it, Facebook is the new mission field. We are focusing our efforts on Facebook with a daily advertising campaign. I had hoped to tie the previous design color schemes into our Facebook advertising as well, but have not yet had the time, so I apologize for that and hope still to make time for that in the future. What's up?
How are we advertising on Facebook? Is it just generally word of mouth, hey, come to liturgy this Sunday, here's a link to our website kind of thing, or is there more?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So Monday through Friday, there will be a new post about the Orthodox faith. Monday will be a post about some aspect of the Orthodox faith that is relevant to inquirers. Wednesday, we'll have a short video that simply explains some aspect of the faith, like the Frederica Matthew Green stuff, or the Be the Bee, or Sister Bassa stuff that maybe you guys are familiar with. We'll start promoting those as well. So on Friday will be a post about someone who converted the Orthodox faith. All these posts come they all originate from the visitor section on our website. So when we advertise them through Facebook with that particular post, they click on it, and then they go back to our website, and then hopefully they go around. So all of them are linked back to us.
But they have to be linked to the Facebook page to see this stuff, right?
No. This is going out to, you can choose 10 miles from a Prescott radius. We can choose all your friends. And we can just
So at least all 3 of them.
yeah, we can get 3 people. Yeah, what was that?
Trending Collins Church.
Yeah. So
Will Zuckerberg allow us that?
as long as you don't put father in front of it, right? So that's what we're doing. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to have internet memes with essentially quotes from the fathers. We'll be boosting those if we can as well. Do the guidelines on images on Facebook. Let's see. Almost right. That's done. Okay. If you are a Facebook user, we need your help. If you see one of the posts come up in your feed, like it. Better yet, share it. Facebook calls this engagement. The more people that are engaged on these posts, the more they will spread our posts around.
These are posts on the St. George group page?
Not the group page. It's
These are advertisements?
It's
not really an advertisement, but I mean, it's
News feed?
Like on your newsfeed, right? It'll come through the newsfeed?
your homepage here.
Is the group still a closed group, or have we opened it up?
It's closed.
still closed.
Why is that though?
Because we don't wear any converts.
You just have to send an invite.
Huh?
That's just so we don't get random people like.
So groups are designed by nature of Facebook.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it. I mean, you just can get.
Oh, so you just send things to people, and this is so that we don't get
No, this is
people
coming through-
advertising
so this
heresy
is-
and stuff.
What he's doing is actually going right on everybody's newsfeed.
It's
Across the city.
Well,
Yeah,
Prescott,
so
not state, but Prescott.
Cities, yeah.
It's a page, you sometimes.
Yeah, it's not.
So this isn't coming from the group. That's
No.
what I
No,
was
it is not coming from the group.
Is it coming from
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm choosing what's being posted. Yeah, I am doing that. And then, but
Is there
it's
another
coming
group?
from our it's coming from our St. George Facebook page, not the group.
Oh, okay. So there's
So there's a page which represents our church. The group is for people in our church to discuss among themselves whatever issues they want to talk about.
Oh, I see.
You can
Okay, now I
I
get
share
it.
podcasts and stuff, but I'm not putting that on our St. George Facebook page because that's just something I like. You know?
No,
Can you,
no.
Janet, there's some confusion on, okay, I think that it's a paid ad, but I don't get it. She's like, how are you ever, I don't know how she does it, but I.
Well, we've only done it for a week. So
And why would she see it?
Yeah, but how would I see it? Like, how does it know
Who's targeted?
who's your chart? How do you do
right now it's if you live in Prescott. But it doesn't. It's not going to nail every person in Prescott right now. There's a budget, and so there's a limit to how many people they're going to show the ad to. As I get more demographics, I can then change it to say just women, just men, just people that are Mormons.
Yes.
So it can change. But right now it's just Prescott,
Okay.
and it's pretty
A
vague.
certain number of people.
Yeah.
But you just need to, okay, there is a demographic that you
And so it's been interesting.
get contacted through Facebook.
Well, Facebook gives you that opportunity. Facebook knows everything about you. You know that, right?
And then through that.
Privacy's gone.
Yeah. You've given that up. Yeah.
And then it's been interesting, so he's been boosting these posts, with the paid advertising. And we have been getting, like, you see these names that I've never seen before, people that'll like the post.
So from Prescott.
Yeah, they're all from Prescott, but I have no idea who they are. And then in some cases they wrote in, they were offended by. Perfect.
I hope you're not, I hope your likes are not people that are like, oh, I love Orthodox Jews.
It's a start.
I hope you get a tunnel back soon.
Oy vey.
Okay, so we're almost done with my part, and you don't have to see me anymore. Two more things. Speakers. This is our first one.
All right.
I didn't have to do better than the last.
Yeah. Yeah, Easter. Yeah.
You are our stadium.
And then we're gonna have another one, and we're gonna double our efforts.
Yeah,
Just like
he's
that.
got to do better than me.
Yeah.
That's what I would prefer.
So each year we want to have at least two speakers. We're going to try two. This speaking is a little bit different, but the intent going forward is to have speakers that will speak on topics that will be of interest to those outside of our parish. We are still working on who those speakers should be. For an example, it's been suggested that Father Timothy Petitsis will come to speak. Oh, he's not Father?
Is he from Holy Cross?
Yeah. Dr. Timothy Petitsis would come to speak about dealing with trauma, both in ourselves, but specifically veterans. And this would give us the opportunity to invite local professionals that deal with trauma, such as those that work at the VA hospital, who would not normally come to our parish to hear the lecture. And then hopefully this would be the first step into getting them to come and become regular members of our parish. Lastly is local events. And that is pretty much it about local events, because I don't have any actual details about what we're doing. We want to be involved in the local Prescott community through the Easter egg hunt, the Prescott Pumpkin Patch, Oktoberfest, just different ways for us to get our name out there that are, what? Yeah,
Talk about that.
I'm serious.
Go for it.
Oh, I wasn't going to do that, but, okay, so I will talk about Oktoberfest. So,
Dogs can't come to the church.
they can get blessed though.
They can get blessed. Yeah. Oh, you have a dog blessed?
And then you're in a community.
Father, do we have a dog blessing?
We can do that.
Look at that.
I could bring Foxy and home.
Awesome. So at Oktoberfest, I didn't really think that was something that we would be able to participate in a way that wasn't kind of fake. But, so there is a monastery on the East Coast, I'm not sure where, New York. It's called the New Skeet Monastery, and they are world renowned for their dog training. They have lots of books in the secular world just about dog training. From what I understand, like if you were to buy a dog from them, you'd have to spend a week with them, and then after they got to know you for a week, they would let you know what dog you should have. So
But this is like for people who are handicapped or for?
no, anybody. Yeah. They're just very serious about dog ownership. And training. They got all kinds of training, and they also make, I guess, like really respected dog biscuits.
Yes.
So we would like to get a crate of those dog biscuits and have a booth and maybe sell some of their books and have information with that biscuit, with that quote.
The quote is, you got to find out which saint said it.
Yeah.
The dog is better than I am because he loves and does not judge.
Yeah, so it's a quote from one of our church fathers. And so we want to tie it into a nice package where we have a booth, and it seems like actually like a nice fit for us.
We won't have it for next week, though, right?
Oktoberfest is in November.
It's in November. Oh, I know.
We got time.
I thought maybe we could have this.
Oh, you mean you want to get your dog blessed next week? Okay. What was that, Gina?
So
Yes.
Had a TV show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a TV show.
Yeah. What?
They'll come out here with the
Yeah, so that's just an idea. We don't know where we're going to take it, but no.
I'm a huge dog mother, and so I volunteered to help you make that happen.
Oh, awesome.
So anybody else who would like to help Kenny and me make it happen?
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh, Jesse would like this.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, any other questions for me? That is the section that I am in charge of. Anybody got questions? Awesome. Ties up.
Thank you, Kenny.
Hold on, Ty.
Wait, I have a question. So what we can do to help you is so in your section, it's go to Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what we can do to help you with this.
Yeah, if you see it, or you go to our St. George page,
Anything else? No, that's what.
like it and share it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, of all of your stuff.
Oh.
What we can do to help you with all this.
Yeah, I think that's probably the.
If you want to do a new website, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before we get a new
It's a
website.
better website.
Okay.
We're gonna keep this one around.
Make it.
It's like 6 months.
Yeah, for at least like 2 years.
So, you may have noticed, you may not have noticed, but we are trying to have a new thing as you enter our church on Sundays, and that's a little greeter program. Well, we only greet people we want to say. This is what we are going, well, first of all, when they come up, the greeter will be engaging these people to see, one, are they just visiting Orthodox, like the 4 people we had here today, they were Antiochians from San Diego? Or are they checking out the church because they got some mailer, or they want to come tell us how horrible they're offended by that mailer, whatever it is. They'll be coming, and so the greeter's position is first to kind of assess and see where they're at. And then from there, if they are a first-time greeter, they'll be getting, or if they're a first-time visitor, especially Orthodox inquirers, they'll be getting this packet. This packet is their information. Kenny, who was it that said, I'd always give somebody some of my literature? It was the communist thing, that quote we were talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, so like this guy was saying, he said, I came to your church and you didn't give me anything. And I believe he was a communist. And he said, when people come to my communist party meeting, I always make sure they leave with literature so they can read about what they were there for. Now, of course, we're not communists, but the idea is...
You're in the hole.
Only if you don't like communists. This is what we're giving them. So...
That's the communist booklet?
This is the Communist Manifesto? Yeah. We did a Cliff Notes version of
The
Linsky's
Orthodox
thing.
Manifesto.
Anyways, they will be giving them things, they'll be greeting them, they will be bringing them in and finding them a place to sit. So for those of us who do sit on the edges, we're hoping to push people toward in, so we have places for them to sit. But not just that. The big job of the greeter is to get them to sit with one of our, we're going to call them mentor families, people group, whoever it is. And this can be you. You can be volunteer to say, I want to specifically be targeted to sit with a new person to help them, guide them through the service. Okay, so their job, so the greeter's going to greet them outside, bring them inside, give them some information, bring them inside, and then find a place to sit next to somebody who's one of the volunteered mentors. That mentor then is responsible for walking them through the service, doing the whisper thing if they're looking confused. Also, at the end of service, it is that mentor's job to make sure those people have a personal invitation to coffee hour. And then to take them in, introduce them to people who you think they might be interested in meeting, sitting with them, having coffee with them, getting them through the line, hosting them like you would if somebody came to your home. You're really going to be the host family for these people. And it gives them a connection with somebody to right off the bat. Rather than sitting in the back and feeling awkward, not knowing anybody, Gina and I were talking about this during lunch, kind of in reference to some of the things he was talking about, like how even Gina, who travels and goes to churches when she's traveling, will walk in and nobody will ever say hey or hello or oh, are you new here or anything to her. And that's what we don't want to be. We want to be the place where we see somebody new and we as a body envelop them with love and I guess just being good hosts.
But not too pushy.
But make sure you push everything down the throat. They'll have to be baptized before they get food.
And don't say I was born again.
Right. Are you born again or are you Orthodox? No. No, the idea is just to be very welcoming and open and help and enveloping. So that is what we're going to do. So let me make sure I hit all the points that give them the welcome packet, give them the mentor through the service, and then eat with them and introduce them to other members of the family. Once inside of this packet, so that's kind of the route that they will take. They'll come in the church, they'll be welcomed, sat down with the host family, the mentor family, and then taken on and hang out with them there, right? And we kind of see we didn't do that very well with these folks today, because even if you're visiting from another church, we want to make sure that they feel welcome to come to coffee hour, and this isn't just a thing. Yes?
So I did ask them if they would like to come to coffee hour.
Wonderful.
And they said they had to leave. And, so they
So you gave them the invitation.
They were invited,
Good.
but they really needed to go, so.
And that's going to happen
Yeah,
regularly.
it will happen.
Yeah, that's going to happen. We just want to make sure we're inviting people in. So I'm going to go through these cards now. So if you want to pull out your cards in your pamphlet, not the trifold and not the booklets. Just the 3 single cards. The first one, so first one that I will put out here is we got a little basic church etiquette thing. It's the purple one. There's just basic things to help them feel less standouty, less awkward. It's kind of like if anybody's seen that 12 Things I Wish I Knew Before I Came to the Orthodox Church pamphlet. It's a basic version of that to hopefully help them kind of assimilate and not feel like they're standing out like a sore thumb. We want them to feel enveloped. Yes.
But I don't know, I find the title of that seems kind of like this is what we expect you to do, sort of, rather than the more kind of passive things, I wish I'd known about the Orthodox Church. I don't know, maybe I'm just like being like, I'm just projecting
Yes,
kind
you
of
are.
neurotic thought.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
You mean the title of church etiquette?
Yeah.
Yeah, church etiquette, like you must stand up straight or you're going to hell or something like that.
Well, that's in the fine print. Going to hell is in the fine print, so we're hoping they don't read all that far. I mean, the hope is to make it more welcoming, and not the.
I mean, it's already printed, so I guess.
No, but Colin, we've actually, in general, if you notice, typos or different things that are errors on these things, and also stuff like that, suggestions. We didn't print, like how many did you print? 50.
Oh.
And so when we print them again in the future, we can make.
Is it the word etiquette that you don't like? You don't like the word etiquette?
Yeah. I think that especially for more kind of informal people, like when I came to the Orthodox Church, I was wearing a band shirt. I dressed as grungy as possible. I was like, judge me.
So like,
Ouch.
How do you know? Yeah, huh?
So
You've been coming for a while.
I don't know. I think I would have been like a bit taken aback by church etiquette.
It'll make you
It's
feel
like,
a little
oh,
awkward.
they're giving me
But I mean, it's
rules
similar to like when you
already.
go to a
I'm just
monastery.
visiting.
When you go to a monastery, there's expectations, We just want to know that there are some thoughts that say, hey, here's some things to make sure you're.
That's why I
worshiping and not
suggested
that.
inquirers come to the parish first before the monastery.
That's a good point.
Because
Yeah.
then they try and put a dress
Same
on my
thing.
mom.
Don't do that.
Like,
So anyways,
you can't
yes.
wear pants here.
We can, if we want to talk about changes, we're definitely open to that. We're printing small batches so that we can grow this and perfect it as we keep building these packets. Okay.
There have been a lot of them that were shorts that come to church.
So we're working slowly to love people, but we want to love them first and then help them come into the faith and to the experience and our culture. We have a different culture. This is our Orthodox culture we are bringing people into, and so this is a first step in helping them with that. I'm going to jump to another one because I found my order of operations here. To First, we have a card here. And this is about St. George Church of Prescott. So it has Father's information, it has our address, it has our email, it has our website, our service schedule, all of our basic information that people can engage with us on. And that's going to be in their packet so that they can reach out and find out more once they visit our church, okay? On the back side, and this is something else that our mentoring families are going to be thought to do in our greeter team. Right now we have about a 5-person greeter team that's always welcome to be expanded. Anybody who wants to be a greeter, we love that service. But this is the church tour. So it's going to be kind of a thing that they're going to have something saying, hey, if you want a church tour, so like after liturgy, they can kind of get a little tour of what's going on in here. Of course, for us Protestants who converted, I came in here and I was just overwhelmed. You know, I mean, I come from a very plain box of a church to something so ornate. I don't know what's going on. But every time I learn about why things are the way they are, I fall in love a little bit more. So that's what we're hoping with that, is we can tell them a little bit about the church and they can kind of get an idea of what's going on with the icons, what's going on with the chandelier, candles, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's going to be in there. So with this is an invitation for them to come up to any one of you and ask for a church tour.
I don't even know everything in the church.
You don't have to know everything, just the stuff you do know. This isn't going to be like a 6-week education on liturgical practices. It's just a little introduction, okay? So that's going to be that. And if you see new people, ask them if they want to hear more about what's going on in the church. Then, on the back side of the etiquette card, going back to that, is this icon of Christ and the children. We want to know, as Kenny was saying, we're targeting families. We're targeting families to be this current demographic that we're reaching out to with this marketing campaign is going toward families. So they're going to be bringing their kids. And most of these families have not come to a place where they don't have childcare during church services. Most Protestant churches, I don't know, I assume Mormon churches do. I don't know about Mormon churches. But anyways, they're coming from a place where maybe they haven't experienced that. But so we want to let them know, hey, your children are welcome here. And we are going to hopefully help you with it. It's letting them know that although we do want, hey, if things are getting crazy, step out, but also let them know that the little noises aren't going to really bother us. We're going to understand that the transition time for a kid is going to be a lot more than it is for the parent who's able to read the etiquette card and go, okay, here's my checklist of what not to do, what to do. The kids are going to take an education process. Right, Ben? It's going to take an education process. It's going to take time. And that takes us as a parish, as well as the parents. I mean, it is probably harder on the parents than it is on us, because they are freaking out that their kid just made a noise. So becoming a welcoming parish, we want to envelop them, help them out, assist them, whatever they need. Make them feel welcome and their children. So that is what we got that in there for. The last card is on the back. They have this thing, it's their information. This is going to tell us where they saw our information at. Is it the Facebook ad? Is it the other thing? So this is going to help us with our tracking to deliver to Leadership 100. But also this is going to give us their information so we can keep in contact with them, so we can send a thank you note or something like that when they do visit our church. That's going to be that. And if they fill that out and they take this into Ann in the bookstore, everybody knows Ann Lunsford over in the bookstore, they will have the choice to pick out one of 8 books that are kind of intros to Orthodox information. One's on specifically for women who are looking into Orthodoxy. One's on like The Orthodox Way by Timothy Ware, some other titles like that that Father and Kenny have put together to be kind of a first touch for people to read. And they will get that book as a gift. Now here's a special thing about this gift. This is where you guys come in. Again, we are going to be encouraging you to go buy one of the books. We're going to ask for $15. Our books range from like $12 to $20. We're going to ask for $15. We want you to take that book off the shelf and write a welcome note in that from you to that visitor. This is not Sunday by Sunday. This is just next time Ann's in there, you can go do this, and then she'll take that book and put it back on the shelf. And then when the people come in and they say, hey, I want a book, they'll take whichever book interests them the most, and there's going to already be, hey, visitor, welcome to our church, the Scott family. A little greeting, thanking them for joining us and participating with us in worship. So that's what we're going to do. Now, what we're going to do with that $15 is just turn it right back into more books. So this is going to be the cycle year-round of every time a book goes out, somebody donates another $15. So just kind of get it in your head, like maybe on a monthly basis, bi-monthly basis, go buy a book, write a note in it for a visitor. And then we'll just keep a stock back there of books with notes in them. And those are the ones that the visitors will be getting out. Does anybody have any questions about that? That's kind of an involved process for you. Anybody got questions about that? No? Okay. Beyond that, that's me. So anybody have any questions about any of the cards, any of the greeters process, how to become a greeter, blah, 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 blah. Anything? Oh, yes. Okay.
I confuse these so basically you're getting the 2 books, one that you pre-signed, and then the other one they pick up?
No, the one that we pre-signed are going to be the ones that they pick out. So they get 1 book when they turn in their visitor card.
Oh.
And so we have all donated to those. So, and Ann has those books in there right now. So we, of course, fronted the first batch from the budget, from this outreach budget. But then we want that budget to continue to replicate itself forever in perpetuity. So they get 1 book.
So at this point, even though the books are already bought, and already here, and already on the shelf, they're blank. If someone wanted to go today and donate $15 or $30 or $45, they could write in the existing books that we
Sign
have.
3 books. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that $45 will go to buy more books.
And then after you guys sign them, they'll be worth that much more.
Absolutely. Yes. Any other questions? What do you think? I mean, Kenny put all this together. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Also, guys, know that these are like $15 a packet. This is like we're really wanting to invest in our visitors to say, hey, we love you. We're going to give you books. We're going to give you information. We're going to hopefully make you feel welcome through the cards with the children and the other things. We want them to feel loved, and we're putting our money in that place. Okay? All right. Next up is Father.
Father, if I could.
Yeah.
They already started to
You're done. Are you done yet?
Timer's up. I'll be back.
So what am I, well anyway, so this very briefly, this is another element of the visitors packet that's in development.
Some of you have them, some of you do not.
Yeah.
We only printed out 10 of those.
So Laura, I think you have one of these, right? The liturgy book? Yeah.
So
And,
it's a liturgy guide, but not all of you have them in that.
So what we tried to do is just, this is it's a copy of the liturgy of St. John Chrysostom, but it has a lot of footnotes in it, and also scripture, biblical references. So for instance, we say the Great Litany every week, and there's tons of scriptures that are packed in there that we're referencing when we say it, and so they're just written there so people can look them up if they want to. And then also there's just a lot of footnotes about different things, like the prokimenon before the epistle, and people see that word and they're like, what is that? And so there's a footnote that explains what a prokimenon is and why we have it. And so hopefully this will help visitors as they're kind of following along with the service. And it's a work in progress. It's still not, like I said, we did kind of like a small run of these, and then I'm going to add more notes, and we'll kind of add to it over time to make it better. And then we have another booklet, Questions about the Orthodox Faith, which again, these are, like Kenny was saying, these are a lot of the questions that you would find. Most people coming from some sort of Christian background are likely to ask these questions if they've come to visit an Orthodox church for the first time. And so there's a lot of questions in here. And so for instance, what are icons? That's one of the questions. Do you worship Mary? And so it's just very briefly we answer those questions to say, no, we honor Mary, we don't worship her, and all this, So these will be really helpful for people as they come in. the third step that Kenny was talking about, in this this whole process of guiding people into the church and stuff like that is building relationships with them. And one of the things, actually, it was one of your podcasts, I think, Adam, about coffee hour.
Yeah.
We interviewed Father
James Corderas.
about the value of coffee hour, and as a time where you can reach out to people. And then, so the main thing to remember is that, so you're here at the Divine Liturgy, and we receive Holy Communion together. When we enter into the coffee hour, that really is a continuation of our fellowship here within the liturgy and the Eucharist. It's not like that fellowship suddenly stops, and so you need to, all of us need to think of that time that we're in coffee hour, one as an extension of the liturgy, and then also as a time that we're trying to embrace people within the body of Christ that have been here, that have never been here before, and are really confused about what's going on. And so it takes, I forgot his name, the priest in the podcast.
Father James Corderas.
James. I was going to say John. But, so one of the things that he talked about, and you'll notice that I try at this. I think perhaps he's a bit more of an extrovert than I am. But he talked about like how as the priest, when he goes into coffee hour, he never sits down. And because he needs to be around, like mixing with people, seeing how they're doing, stuff like that. And I go back and forth between doing that.
He was also saying that it's not just your job, it's our jobs to be bouncing around.
Well, see, and so that was the point. Is that you see, he's doing that kind of leading by example within his community. But what he was saying is that really within our parishes, we all need to be like that. There's plenty of times, like many of us get together during the week for different things. There might be people in the parish, like for instance, I have an interest in iconography and painting, and Colin has an interest in painting. So he's come to my house before, you know what I mean? And other Colin. And to talk about those things and, about iconography and stuff like that. But coffee hour isn't really the time to be doing that. And because we are here at the liturgy and there are visitors here, there's people that feel excluded and don't know how to fit into this environment. And so there's other times during the week that we get together to share our common interests, and that's good. That's totally, it's a very important part of parish life for people to get together outside of the church because they happen to, like to talk about art, or something like that, or they happen to have the same kind of business interests even. And but, like I said, coffee hour isn't necessarily the time to do that. We need to think about it more as an extension of the liturgy and as a time to welcome people that look like strangers. Because you'll see them, you'll look around and you'll see, people that are kind of just sitting by themselves and they really look like they don't quite know what to do, And so I encourage you, to take the time to walk up to them and say, how you doing? Where are you from? What brought you here today? And sometimes, the other week we had there was a very interesting response really to some of that stuff. There was a guy who, he had a lot of very definite reasons and that he felt like he was here. He was telling me all about it. Yeah, he was a prophet. So it was, so you run into that sometimes too.
Wait, I want to hear more.
He was
about
kind
this.
of I don't know, I guess a self-appointed prophet. So,
Me too.
but, that's. Yeah.
I knew you would say that.
That was today.
Yeah. That's why Adam's here. Yeah, he's not really a subdeacon. He's just. He likes to wear a cassock though, so.
I found this backstairs.
Right.
Just wanted to know that.
But are there any questions about that, or even comments?
So those two books that are welcome, that liturgy book, that's something they're welcome to take home?
Visitors.
Yes.
Yes. So these first-time visitors, when they take, yeah, the liturgy book will be in the packet, so that's something they take home. That's theirs. They can keep it. And then, well, you notice we've always had those paperback Divine Liturgy books that people can take. It says it right in the front of it. You can take it if you want it. And we're transitioning though, where we're going to have liturgy books that are hardbound that we don't want people to take home. And so we'll have this instead, you know, that will actually specifically give to people that are learning about the faith to take home. Because one of the things I'm wary of, actually, it's off topic, is as Orthodox Christians, it's not the greatest thing to have our noses buried in books during an entire service. Which part of that, you know, the more that we attend services and become familiar with them, we don't need to do that because we have an idea of where things are going. But so it kind of shows a sign of, in some cases, of a lack of understanding of the service itself. And so as we grow and mature as Orthodox Christians, ideally, we don't need a book anymore. Priests and deacons, people that are serving, like we always have a book. Because there's always a chance that your mind will go blank and you get lost. And so you need to be able to, you know, recover from that. And also, in some ways, it's a matter of humility. You're not standing up there like, oh, I just got all this memorized. It doesn't matter. And but it is the case that the more that you participate in the services, you really do eventually, essentially have large portions of these services memorized. And so walking around with the book, it communicates something. It communicates an unfamiliarity and a lack of understanding, which is not good. So we need to move beyond that. But we definitely want to have a book, like a reference book of the Divine Liturgy, especially for somebody who's encountering the liturgy for the first time, so that they can follow along in the service and then later take it home and actually read all of these notes, you know, explaining these different things that we do. And I'd actually like to, I mean, I think it'd be nice to make these things available to parishioners as well if they want to see it. Because there's always something, even when I was writing it, the footnotes and things, you know, there were just aspects of the liturgy that I never really thought about before. And then I would go and research, and I'm like, oh, wow, you know, that's fascinating, you know. So, any other questions? Maurice's going to, President Tara's telling me to quit. Sure. This is your last chance. All right, thank you.
Now, if you guys going up, just be honest.
All right, this is going to be 2 minutes.
Oh, your time.
Father Jeffrey's 2 minutes. It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So today you probably saw these cards and maybe got one, hopefully got one. They were handed out. This is, and the prayer we did in church today was for evangelism. And I would say just in general, you know, if I could just confess in front of everybody, for a long time I was not very good at praying. And I mean not consistently good at it. And I would say that you know, our Lord's Prayer, you know, or the Jesus Prayer. And it just, you know, and I would use those same prayers for every occasion. And it's probably only been in the last several years that I started buying prayer books, because all the prayer books we had at home were my mother's and they were all in Greek, and that was not helpful. But I started buying prayer books and, you know, realized that there's just this incredible bounty of prayer that you can use in your daily life for every hour, every minute, every occasion. And I can't tell you what a difference it makes. It's huge. And so, you know, I want to encourage not just the evangelism prayer, and on the back, write the names of the people that you pray will find our faith and put it in your icon stand. When you pray, you're praying for them, that they'll see the light and the faith. And, you know, today we had 4 people come into the faith over the last few months. Each one of them got a Jordanville prayer book, which is one of my favorites. And so we want to encourage everybody to pray and use the prayers for the different occasions. You know, the morning prayer, the evening prayer, every hour of the day prayer, right, Father? I used to tell Father, no, I'm good. I pray on my treadmill all the time. I'm listening, go forth. That's where I am. This is all prayer, And then Father's like, well, once in a while you should actually sit in a chair and, pray that way. Like, really pray. And it's made a huge difference for me, let me tell you. And so I hope you take all of that, fill out the cards, make sure everybody gets one, and I know a lot of you already pray. Believe me, you're much better at it than I am. But just make that part of your life. I think it's a huge, huge blessing for us to have. And I'm done. See? That's it.
Okay, that is it for our part. We're now on to Adam.
Okay.
Thank you guys very much.
So,